At this stage of the game, we can cause the player to die by manually clicking the death radio button here in the animator window. And that demonstrates the functionality, but it's not accessible from the game itself. So what we need to do is have a script that will cause this to be triggered under some type of condition in the game. And I've supplied you with a script that does exactly that. So I'm going to get out of the game and then go into the file system, and you'll find this script right here in the exercise files folder, trigger death by falling. I need to bring that into my project, so I'll go to the assets folder. I'm just going to tidy up here and close some of the subfolders. And we have used some scripts in the past, but they were part of the standard assets. This is a custom script, so I'm going to make a new folder for it called scripts. And then I'll double click on that folder to go into that here in the right pane. And then I'll go back into the file system and drag and drop the trigger death by falling script in here. And let's take a look at that here. I'm going to double click on that to open it in my default code editor. And you can read through the code if you're familiar with C#. But let me just quickly summarize that I have one serialized field that makes it accessible in the inspector, and that's called the falling distance threshold. And I have that set to 1 meter by default. So she has to fall at least a meter in order to die. But that distance is configurable. And it also relies upon a specific trigger name called death with a capital D. So it has to exactly match this word. And I believe that is what I called it in the game. So if you called your trigger something slightly different, maybe it was all lowercase, then you're going to have to change that, either in the parameter or here in the code. We don't need to make any changes to the code, but you can just read through it to see how it works if you like. And you can also use this as a jumping off point for your own games. So I'll go back into Unity, and to take advantage of this script, what we need to do is get it on the character. So I'll select Nicole in the hierarchy, and then I'll scroll down here to the bottom and drag and drop this script at the bottom of the list where it turns blue, and there's trigger death by falling. Now, as I said, there's one parameter that's accessible here in the inspector, the falling distance threshold. Let's just see how that works out of the box. I'll go ahead and play the game, and then I'll walk over here to this ramp. Incidentally, if you have the animator open, you can see that we're currently in the grounded state. This progress bar is showing us that we're in that blend tree. So what I'm going to do is walk up the ramp just a short distance, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key and just run off the edge. And when I do that, she dies. And you can see now in the state machine that she's dead. This is no longer running. So that got triggered by the script because she fell more than a meter. But that's really not very far, and I think that she'd be more robust than that. She wouldn't just die at such a low height. So what I can do is change that here in the inspector. I'm going to say that she has to fall at least 4 meters or more in order to die. So I change this parameter to 4. And now, when we play the game, let's test this out and see if it works. So if I walk over here and go up the ramp again, part way, and to save time, I'm going to run up the ramp by holding down one of the shift keys. So now, go over here, and if I jump off of here in the middle of this area, I fall on this platform down below, and I didn't die. Evidently, that's less than 4 meters. So that's good. I think she should be able to jump on that platform. But what if she falls from the full height of the platform? Let's see what happens next. I'll go up here, and I'm just going to run right off the edge and see what happens. Sure enough, she dies because it's more than 4 meters. So this is a way that you can trigger this parameter through the use of a script.